Hey everyone, I'm John Campea. Star Wars The Last Jedi may have been a huge hit, being the #1 box office film of the year, the 6th biggest box office movie in history domestically, and the 2nd biggest Star Wars film of all time. But it also had its share of detractors who found the film unworthy of the Star Wars name. Even those like myself who really enjoyed The Last Jedi acknowledged that the film had some significant missteps that could be improved on. So I thought I would take a couple of minutes to talk about the 5 things Star Wars needs to do in order to improve for Episode 9. Number 1. Give the heroes a purpose in the story. One of the major things The Force Awakens got right that The Last Jedi kind of struggled with was the characters having a narrative purpose. Poe, Rey, Finn, and even Han all had a purpose in The Force Awakens, something the story needed them to do in order for the story to come to full fruition. Poe meeting Finn, getting him away from the First Order, and ultimately leading the strike team that destroys Starkiller Base. Finn, the stormtrooper who breaks away from his lifelong evil masters, who comes across Rey and sets her on her path, and ultimately being the key to infiltrating and getting around Starkiller Base. Han, Leia, Rey, Kylo, even BB-8 all had function to play in the overall story of The Force Awakens. They all had purpose to the story. Unfortunately, the same can't be said of The Last Jedi. Take Poe Dameron, for example. Take him out of the movie, and the story ends up being in the exact same place when the credits roll. He led an attack on the First Order dreadnought that got everybody killed, and ultimately made no difference whatsoever to the movie. He tried to thwart the plans of Vice Admiral Holdo, only to fail, and helped send Rose and Finn on their mission that ultimately was pointless and ended in spectacular failure. You could make an argument that Poe Dameron's biggest contribution to The Last Jedi was noticing that the Crystal Foxes had somehow escaped from the cave, and thought, let's follow them and maybe find an exit. Finn and Rose go on a pointless mission that they fail at, try to disable the First Order's ability to track them through hyperspace, which they also fail at, and then participate in an attack on the First Order's ground cannon, to which they also fail. Again, had you taken Finn and Rose out of the movie entirely, the story still would have ended the exact same way. They ultimately had no tangible purpose to the story. Frankly, even Leia's arc didn't contribute much to the story whatsoever other than her presence. Going into Episode 9, J.J. Abrams and the Lucasfilm team need to give their heroes a purpose. It's not enough that they're just here in the movie. They need to have a role, a function to their story that makes their presence necessary in the movie. Otherwise, it's just wasted screen time. Number 2. Put more focus on Rey's Jedi path. Rey is a fantastic character, abandoned as a child, forced to fight and learn every trick in the book to survive on Jakku, and within her, a manifestation of the Force that rivals that of Kylo Ren. In The Last Jedi, we saw Luke teach her how to reach out and connect to the Force to begin to understand what the nature of the Force is and how to feel it flow through her. It was a great first step, but it was the second movie. It's time to move her to the next level. Rey took the ancient Jedi texts out of the tree before Yoda burned it down, and a combination of her studying those books with the tutelage of a Force ghost Luke Skywalker, or a live one. I actually have a theory that he may actually be alive in Episode 9, but I'll talk about that another time, to take her to a place of being a young Jedi Knight. We need to see her fully embrace who and what she is, from being a confused and sometimes frightened girl to being a confident and more assured Jedi. It's the same kind of progression we got from Luke when we look at the change in him from Empire Strikes Back to the Luke that we got in Return of the Jedi. Number 3. Either correct or remove General Hux from the story. In The Force Awakens, I got introduced to a character I actually really like, General Hux of the First Order. Here was a villain filled with indescribable rage and anger, yet coldly committed to the purposes of the First Order. He was also fearless, completely unimpressed, and not intimidated in the least by Kylo Ren, often getting in his face and even mocking him from time to time. However, somewhere between The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, General Hux lost his spine. He went from a cold, fearsome character to a comedic one. More of a bumbling, incompetent Colonel Clink than a ruthless Grand Moff Tarkin. If we as the audience are to fear the First Order, then we need a figurehead, a person that represents that. Vader and Kylo embody the dark side, but it was Grand Moff Tarkin who embodied the Empire. And Hux needs to be able to do that for the story to work. If he can't, then you need to put in a new character who can. Number 4. Give Chewbacca some respect. In The Force Awakens, you could make an argument that Chewbacca had never been given a more significant role to play. He and Han came across as old friends, Chewie had his own moments of glory in battle, and he certainly had more to say in that movie than almost any other. However, he's relegated to that of the family pet dog again. Luke and Chewie go all the way back to the original Star Wars film, yet the only line shared between the two of them in this movie is, "Chewie, what are you doing here?" The rest of the time on the island, Chewie's just sitting on the Falcon and spit roasting some porgs. It's like the medal ceremony in Star Wars all over again. Going into Episode 9, depending on what they decide to do with the Princess Leia character, Chewie could end up being our last living connection to the original trilogy. Treat him with a little bit more respect. He's a great character, feared by the criminal underworld as the mighty Chewbacca, a skilled warrior, one of the best pilots in the galaxy, a hero of the rebellion, and a loyal friend. Let's give him at least a little bit of the due that he deserves. Number 5. Give Finn, Rey, and Poe some screen time together. One of the things that drew us all to the original Star Wars, and to many other films as well, was the chemistry between the leads and the bond that they shared. Han, Luke, Leia, their love for each other often propels their actions in the movies, which gives it dramatic weight. However, this new trio of heroes basically have no screen time together through the first 2 films. Yeah, they did a pretty good job creating a connection between Finn and Rey, but they spend essentially no time together in The Last Jedi. As a trio of heroes, we're supposed to cheer for, believe in, and feel their connection to each other. But it's tough to do when we literally never see them together. If Lucasfilm really does intend to make new stories and adventures for these characters beyond Episode 9, then it becomes increasingly important for Episode 9 to show us these characters together. Let us as an audience feel their bond so we can get emotionally invested in them. But it can't be done if they're not emotionally invested in each other first, and we'll never believe that they are if we never see them together. So there you have it, folks. My 5 ways that Star Wars Episode 9 needs to improve on what was done in Episode 8. What do you think are some of the ways that they can improve it? Jump down into the comments section below and leave me your thoughts. That'll do it for me, folks. My name's John Campea. Thanks for joining me, and until my next video, bye-bye.